I've always been drawn to the deep woods, not the manicured trails you see on postcards, but the real untamed wilderness. The kind where your phone is just a useless brick and the trees grow so thick the sunlight struggles to find the forest floor. Back in October of 2024, I decided to take a week off and hike alone in the North Cascades of Washington. No fixed plan, no one to check in with, just me, my gear, and a paper map that ended at a place ominously named Devil's Hollow. The last town I passed through was tiny, barely a dot on the map. The locals there tried to warn me off it. They told stories about hunters who went into those woods and came out different, talking to themselves, refusing to touch meat, scratching strange symbols onto the walls of their homes. An old man at the gas station even muttered something about a tall walker that lived back there. He described it as skinny as a young tree, unnaturally tall, with arms that hung too long and a face you could never quite recall afterward. I just smiled politely, paid for my coffee, and kept driving. It takes a lot to scare me, or so I thought. The marked trail vanished after the third day. I was bushwhacking my way through a sea of ferns and moss when the entire atmosphere of the forest shifted. The birds went silent. The wind died down. It was like the woods were holding their breath. That's when I heard the first whistle. It wasn't a bird. It was distinctly human, three clear melodic notes. Hi-lo-hi. It sounded like someone mocking a tune from a great distance. I froze, listening, silence. Then it came again, but closer this time from a totally different direction. I told myself it was just an echo bouncing off the trees and pushed forward. By dusk, I found a small clearing that seemed perfect for a campsite. It had flat ground, a creek nearby for water, and was ringed by ancient, towering cedars. I set up my tent, got a small fire going, and made dinner. The whistling never came back. I chalked it up to exhaustion and the strange quiet, and I eventually went to sleep. I woke up sometime after midnight to a silence so absolute. It felt heavy. There were no crickets, no rustling leaves, no owls, nothing. And then I heard it. Footsteps, slowly and deliberately circling my tent. They weren't heavy like a bear or a deer. They were light, almost careful, as if someone was trying to be quiet but couldn't help a pine needle crunching every now and then. I sat bolt upright, my hand closing around the handle of my knife. I just listened. The steps stopped right at the entrance of my tent. I held my breath, waiting for the sound of the zipper, a voice, anything. Instead, there was a soft, slow inhale, like someone was smelling the air just inches from the nylon fabric. And then the whistle again, those same three notes, right outside. I didn't sleep a wink for the rest of the night. At the first hint of daylight, I packed up my camp in a frenzy and started hiking out the way I'd come. But the woods felt wrong. Trees I was certain I'd passed now looked alien. The creek I'd camped beside was nowhere to be found. I walked for hours, yet I swear I passed the same exact fallen log, with moss growing on the same side 3 separate times. I was walking in circles. Around noon, the whistling started up again. It was always behind me, always those same 3 notes. I'd spin around, but there was never anything there, just a dense wall of trees and shadows. Then, just once, I caught a flicker of movement out of the corner of my eye. Something pale and impossibly thin, slipping between 2 trees too fast to get a good look. It was taller than me by at least a head, and it moved without making a single sound. That's when the panic finally clawed its way up my throat. I ran. I just ran. Branches whipped at my face and tore at my jacket. Roots seemed to grab at my ankles, but I didn't stop until my lungs felt like they were on fire. I burst out of the trees and onto a real, marked trail with a Forest Service sign, and I almost collapsed in tears. I made it back to my truck by nightfall and drove. I didn't stop until I had crossed the state line, putting as much distance as I could between me and those mountains. But here's the part that still messes with me. The part that keeps me staring at the ceiling at night. About 3 weeks later, I was at home, and I woke up in the middle of the night whistling those same 3 notes. I have no memory of learning the tune. My girlfriend at the time told me I'd been doing it in my sleep for nights after the trip. Then one morning, she found me in the kitchen at 3 a.m. I was just standing there, staring out the window into our dark backyard, whistling that soft 3-note tune. I haven't gone camping since. I live in a city now on the 4th floor of an apartment building with no trees in sight. But sometimes when the city quiets down late at night, I hear it, drifting up from the empty street below my window. 3 clear notes. Hi-lo-hi, waiting.